Renee's vlog number 13. I just got back to Sacramento from going to UC San Diego's whitecoat ceremony for my cousin. And it was super fun. I was just there like half a day on Thursday for the ceremony and was there all day on Friday and then just came back this afternoon. I think I talked about it in the last vlog that like I was trying to get a lot done so that I could go and not have to study, not have to worry about finals. I did an okay job. I still have a lot to study. I could have done more. I did do flashcards over while I was in San Diego. I woke up early before everyone woke up and did some studying. So that was, I feel good about that. But now that I'm like, shoot, I have the rest of today, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and my exam's at 8:30 in the morning on Wednesday. So I'm supposed to be doing a hardcore study session tonight with some of my friends, and hopefully that'll make me feel a bit better about what's to come. But even though now I'm starting to feel the stress of like this week, this is literally finals week. This is it. I need to like get down to it. I'm still messing around on YouTube and watching videos, and I mean I feel so tired. I got like almost no sleep last night, just staying up and hanging out with everybody and talking, and then I woke up early again on accident and didn't go back to bed and all this stuff. So yeah. So even though like I know I should be stressed, I'm not feeling very motivated to study at all. And I'm also supposed to go for a long run tomorrow morning that should take like over an hour, so that like cuts into my study time, just like all these different factors that are coming into play, basically adding up to the fact that I really need to get to studying. But I wanted to make this vlog more to talk about San Diego's whitecoat than to talk about finals coming up. I really enjoyed San Diego's whitecoat ceremony. Thought their speeches were great. A lot of it was about like remembering to congratulate yourself for making it this far, and even though you have like a long road ahead of you and you might feel like you need to know like what specialty you want to get into, because I feel like it's kind of like after you get married, everyone starts asking you about when you're going to have kids. After you get into medical school, you start going to medical school, everyone starts asking you what specialties you're interested in, even though it's really not super realistic to have like a solid idea until like maybe third year-ish of what you want to do and things like that. But a lot of their speeches were kind of about like how in the 11th hour a bunch of people figured out what it was that they wanted to do, and so like especially they haven't even started school, don't be stressing too hard or worrying about like, oh, what are you going to do in the future, and you kind of a lot of times end up in a place you never would have considered before. So that was kind of like a nice reminder for me too, that like you don't have to have it all figured out and just concentrate on kind of like going week by week and year to year, and you don't have to like have the rest of your life figured out. Another speech that they had was about like serving the underserved and helping people, and how like that's what you're going to medical school for. Like, of course you're going for the degree, but you're only getting the degree because that's what's going to help you to be able to help people more and in the way that you want. So it was really inspiring and really, again, a helpful reminder to be like, this is why we're going through all of this stress and stuff for 4 years and whatnot. And then the last speech that really impacted me was kind of talking about like why is it a white coat ceremony, and why do we give you like white coats, and how recently doctors wearing white coats have been like a symbol of arrogance and a way to like demand authority and a way to distance ourselves from our patients and things like that. And the speech was kind of like an argument for saying something different with a white coat, and you should wear your white coat with humility and to remember that the white coat allows you to have the authority to ask people sensitive questions and to do sensitive things with their bodies and things like that, but it also allows you to gain trust with your patients and to establish a relationship with your patient that maybe you wouldn't be able to without the white coat. And it is a symbol for like who we've become through this whole process, but to wear it in a way that's not with arrogance, and to wear it as a symbol of like, you can trust me, and all these different things of kind of turning around the image of a white coat. And I really liked it just because I have heard a lot of things about like people wearing white coats, and like even from my personal experience, like we're told to wear white coats. Like when I went to a legislative day to talk about policy at the Capitol, and med students were told to wear white coats, and it does give you a sense of like community, and you're with all these other people who are wearing white coats that are physicians and things like that. And it's crazy to think that people will think of you differently because you're wearing a white coat, even though you're only a medical student, yet you're commanding kind of the same respect as like a physician who's wearing a white coat, regardless of how short or long your white coat is. Like, it does have a certain effect on people when people see you wear it. But at the same time, it's kind of, because of that respect, I can wear my white coat to clinic and get to talk to my patients, and even though I'm only a medical student, and start building these great relationships and things like that. So it was kind of the whole speech was about, I'm going on and on about this, but the whole speech was about like how wearing a white coat is like a double-edged sword right now, but changing the image of a white coat is up to you. You don't have to be an arrogant doctor and things like that just because you're wearing a white coat. Like, who you are underneath the white coat, completely up to you. And I thought it was a really nice speech. And yeah, I just was so proud. It was so funny. I felt like I got more emotional for my cousin's white coat than for my own, because there have been so many years of talking about like me and my cousins wanting to go to medical school. And not that I doubted it would ever happen, but this is it. It's officially happening that me and my two cousins are in medical school all at the same time. And it's just really exciting for all of this to come to fruition, because we all were in college around the same time together too, and we were all pre-med during that time and stuff, and you can't help but like stress out and be like, what if I don't get in, and things like that. But now all of us are going to make it, and now that all of us are in medical school, like everyone says that's the hardest part. So it was just really cool for her to get her white coat, and that was kind of just like the seal on all of it, that we were gonna accomplish what we set out to do so many years ago. So it was a really cool moment. That I'm so lucky that I didn't have a required class on Friday, and I could fly down and see her. And like I was saying in another log, that like even if this does like cause me extra stress or whatever, I'm gonna be so appreciative of the fact that I could go to that for her, and hopefully in 3 years she'll get to come to my graduation, because she came to my white coat too a year ago, and in 4 years from now I'll get to go to her graduation in San Diego. But it was also so cool to see all of their class is like 135 people, and it felt ridiculous being like, even when our MS1s here in Davis matriculated, I was like, oh, you have to take anatomy, and you have quizzes every couple weeks. Oh, histology. I hated histology. physiology that was like so much stress and so much extra tutoring I had to go through to be able to pass that class, and like thinking about everything going through first year. And not that I like thought I was going to fail first year, but it just feels like so long ago. I swear I've been in medical school for much more than just a year. And like the same thing where I'm like, I'm only a year ahead of my cousin, but it's just like, oh my god, you haven't even had your first class yet. And it's like, you have so far to go. But then I even feel the same way looking at my older cousin who's a year ahead of me. She just started her third year. They've done like 2 rotations now, and like even though they're only 2 rotations in, I'm like, oh my god, you've ordered your own labs, you've seen your own patients, you write notes, and you present to attendings, and you make plans for your patients and things like that, and like you do rounds, and that's so crazy. Like, how are you, like, a year, I feel like in med school makes such a big difference, and I can't even fathom that, like, a year from now, I'm gonna be writing orders for labs and imaging and things like that. So it's just, it's crazy to look, like, be smack in the middle of them and get to look back on, like, everything I've done in the past year and everything my cousin's gonna have to go through, and then getting to look at my other cousin and be like, wow, this is everything I'm gonna have to go through. I'm so glad that I have someone to help me along the way, and I feel very, very lucky that she's the first one to have to go through all of it. She took shelves and things like that already, and I'm like, okay, I'm warning you now, a year from now I'm gonna ask you on advice for how to study for shelf and things like that. So I think my cousin who just white-coated has 2 people ahead of her, just 2 years ahead of her, and then I have 1 person ahead of me. So I'm pretty lucky for that. But yeah, I'm just so proud of like all 3 of us. We're like ducks in a row, graduating classes of 21, 22, and 23. So it's gonna be a pretty exciting next few years. Yeah, and it was really fun getting to meet all of her friends who came out and supported her at her whitecoat. I remember like all of my high school friends that I'm still in touch with coming to my whitecoat, and it was really nice because they say that like your whitecoat ceremony is just as important as your graduation for medical school, because like I said, it is like almost a bigger deal to get to the whitecoat, and it's harder to get to the whitecoat part than to get to the graduation part. But yeah, I really enjoyed getting to meet her friends and meeting new people, and just remembering that like I'm good at meeting people outside of medical school. And funny enough, most of her friends, or almost all of her friends maybe all of her friends who came to her whitecoat weren't pre-med, and it's just so refreshing, I guess, to not be talking about med school all the time, to talk to people who aren't going through all of this and like remember that like, wow, I can talk like a normal person. So I don't know, it was just a lot of fun getting to know them and getting to know people who also love my cousin and want to go out and support her and stuff like that. So yeah, it was a really fun weekend. Probably, I mean, it's only Saturday at like 5 o'clock, so I still have some weekend left, but the rest of my weekend will hopefully be for studying. I'm gonna try and stop procrastinating. I'm supposed to have like a study boot camp tonight. I think I already mentioned that, but yeah, I just wanted to come on here and talk about her ceremony because it only happens once, hopefully. All right, see you in the next one.